And DBR here. Welcome to Amityville Horror. Thank you for visiting. I am Clint.
I am Don.
And we are joined here today with a very special guest. We have one Mr. William Instone here today. How are you, sir?
Very good. As I said, I'm just living the dream day by day, man. That's how we roll.
That's what you got to do. That's
Absolutely.
what you got to do. Building the dream takes time, step by step. And you're kind of a do-it-yourself kind of guy.
Yes, you are.
Absolutely. I mean, that's just the only way I know how to do it, As far as being an independent artist, nobody cares more about your art than you. So you can't rely on other people to get shit done because, I learned a long time ago when you rely on people, they don't have the same drive as you. I'm not I don't have patience.
I got you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We completely understand.
Yeah. Rolling down the list. You're an actor, you're an editor, you're a writer, you've done makeup, soundtrack work, you're a director, producer, cinematographer. You wear all the hats, man.
All of it.
You wear them all.
That's what I had to do to learn. I like to be one of those guys that know how to do everybody's job on set.
Yeah.
That way I know, I think a lot of directors that don't do that, they don't know what that person's doing. Like for instance, they can get mad at a lighting guy or your gaffer, or, the director could be impatient with them. Well, if you've never done that job, you don't know how difficult it is to do it.
Oh yeah, totally.
So then once you know how to do it, I think it tends to give me a little more patience with people, especially in makeup effects. A lot of directors are like, we need this thing done, we need it done. But if you want it to look good, you're gonna fucking wait.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're kind of just getting our feet wet with just understanding how some of those things work, and we're getting to know, actors, but also people in the SFX world, and they are things that take time. And if you want a good product coming out the other end, you got to know where to spend the money and where to spend the time.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely. Don't half-ass it, man. You get what you pay for it too. So.
That's right.
That's right.
And in my case, what I paid for is free a lot of times.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, can you do this? Yeah, but I can't afford to pay you, dude.
Oh, damn. Can I take back? No, you already said it. Yeah, man. So one thing, and I'll get out of the way because this is, Clint has done his homework with you very, very thoroughly.
All right.
As we both kind of have. But the one thing, especially with a Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan film, and we've brought it up with a couple other people that have done fan films. As far as taking that project on, how did you feel about it? Did you feel like it was ambitious, too ambitious? Was it something you'd always wanted to do? How did that work out for you?
Well, I never would probably make a fan film myself because you can't make any money off of it.
Right.
Not that I'm in this for money, but because obviously I'm broke as shit, and most people in my position are broke as hell. They don't sell their movies. But regardless, what I'm getting at is you got to be almost insane to be an independent filmmaker, and masochistic in a bit, because you're going to go through hell to put out a product. And when you get done with this product, the best you can do is put it out for free and get the accolades and the praise if you did something great. But that's about it. I mean, it's like, I guess if you're looking to make a good business card for someone to hire you later, then I could see that because you have, an established fan base. But then on the other edge of the double-edged sword, you got the purists, especially with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I mean, those fans are hardcore. I'm a Texan. I'm a native Texan. I don't know where you guys are, but I've lived in Texas my whole life. And I lived in Marble Falls, Texas, and I watched them bring the chainsaw house to Kingsland in 2 pieces on the back of a truck and make it the restaurant. So I mean, I live 15 minutes from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre gas station. Well, I'm friends with the owners, and I go there a lot and have barbecue and love that place. And so I guess the ambition, I guess we're getting back to the long-winded question.
You're fine.
How did I get involved with that? Basically, the director, Steve Merlo, he's Canadian, and he's way far from Texas.
Mm-hmm.
But he was just like, hey, I'm doing this fan film. Can you help me find this house? I need a dilapidated house. So I was like racking my brains, and everything I sent him was like, no, that's not dilapidated enough. Like, damn, how dilapidated do you want
right.
it? I found some pretty shitty ones, but when I saw the one that he found, I'm like, yeah, you got the cake there. That piece of shit. Okay. But I was just helping him with stuff around Texas, trying to help him out. I mean, his effects makeup artist, I guess, backed out. The guy had a lot of issues happen. Poor guy, man.
Yeah,
I felt bad for him because he was losing, doing things from Canada and having to do it all remotely, and come down to Texas to do it. Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah. So I did my best to help him out, just because I've been in that spot, where I've asked people for help as a filmmaker, and wanted to help him out. And I guess it came about that I was an actor as well, and he had lost Ed Neal for this character called Rex. I guess because they thought Neil Camp thought it was a SAG film. Well, come on, a SAG fan film? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Or did you really think that? Okay. Anyway, he just dropped me a line and said, "Hey, would you want to audition for this character?" And I'm like, "Sure, why not?" And he's like, "You don't look like him, but what I need, but I need to find somebody." And I got, so it's probably week and a half, maybe 2 weeks before he started shooting, I got cast.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
I would call that a happy accident, because we got to see an early screening of the movie before we talked to Steve, because we just had him on the show.
Okay.
And I don't know, you were a standout character for me.
Oh, you were fantastic. You were you were one of the best parts about it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Completely pivotal. I mean, and I think I was telling Steve, I was like, well, you got a good guy for it. I mean, he's a hell of a salesman. It's like he got, my only real takeaway from this movie is, if he tells me to go 2 miles down the road and turn at the electrical transformer, I ain't fucking doing it.
Yeah, we're not fucking playing
that. Yeah. I had a lot of fun with that character, and I tell you, it was cool to be a character that had no lineage to the original at all. It was a completely original character that I could just make my own and not have to like take on trying to be a different character's mannerisms. And he gave me a lot of freedom to just making my own. I guess because I didn't look like the guy he envisioned. I was nothing like it. I'm a big burly dude, man. So it's like, it's
right.
He wanted him to be skeletal and like kind of like tall, slanky, weird, creepy guy. And I'm just a big, burly, scary, creepy guy. So
the last part is all that mattered.
Exactly. And I thought the character had, not just because I did it, just when I was reading the script, I called him, and I'm like, "Bro, this is your best character in the script. Thank you for giving it to me."
Yeah, wholeheartedly.
Yeah. There's an ending when I'm not spoiling anything, but Rex's ending was different before I got on board, and we kind of opened it up, because of me being involved with it and the way the character was. I was like, you own this character, man. I wouldn't do what you're planning on doing. And he agreed. And that's why things turn out the way they do.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And if he hadn't told me the number of issues that he had making that movie, I'd have never known it.
No.
You know what I mean? Way. The only thing that I think stood out to us was the truck. You know what I mean?
It was like, still badass. I like driving.
That's my words fucking exactly to Steve. I was like, it was still a badass fucking truck.
Truck.
I'm looking at the rims. I'm like, them rims are definitely American classic. They belong on like a 80 Camaro or something like that, and they're on this fucking truck. That truck was badass. That thing was amazing.
Oh yeah. It was fun to drive, man. I was like, hell yeah, I get to drive the cool truck. I get to eat the barbecue. I get to lead them all to their death. Come on, dude. But that's fuck yeah, dude. I jumped on board of that shit. I even I rarely do this, and saying that live, right, or whatever we have on this thing, I'll throw it out in the world. I don't care. Because of all the shit he was going through and his dedication, I donated my pay. I worked for free. I told him to take my money, my day rate, and put it towards buying food and shit. Because, he lost his caterer, he lost his AD. I mean, there was a lot of shit happening to him right before he had to film. So I felt horrible for him. When I was on set, I did a lot of the AD work, keeping them on track and pushing, like, hey, we gotta go. And Charlie, the DP, was like, thank God you're here. Whenever I show up, because we need to stay on track. And the AD is the asshole of the set, because he's the one telling everybody, let's go, hurry the fuck up. No, you get one more take. You don't have time for another take.
Yep.
You have to have that guy there to be that person that's pushing us to go, because as a director, you get stuck into it. I need this shot, I need to get this. Well, you don't have fucking time for it. If the sun goes down at this time and we're done today. And this dude shot that in 9 days. So in order to get that all done in 9 days, you had to be on top of it, so.
You had to you had some tracks to make, for sure. And he said he even had a close call with the masks. He said, we were already a day into shooting before they showed up.
Yep.
I'm like,
goddamn,
that way.
You wouldn't know it, but that the first day you see Rex was the first thing we shot in the film, and it was a rare March day where it was freezing in Texas. It was so cold during that. It was miserably cold.
Oh, I mean,
those guys are from Canada. They're like, this is cold.
Yeah.
Just like
you're definitely like, fuck this.
How do you think I feel? I'm a fucking Texan. It doesn't get cold like this in March. This is fucking crazy.
This is nuts. Exactly.
Man, it was one of the few sets I've been on where you get there in the morning and you're freezing your balls off, and by 2 you're sunburned. It's crazy Texas weather, man.
That sounds terrible. I thought Pennsylvania was bad. Nope.
Negative.
So I had a chance to check out some of your other stuff, hanging out for a little bit on your YouTube channel, and I saw that you did a couple of short films that ended up in, like, what are they, the 48-hour film festival type things?
Yeah. They're just, I hate doing those things. I'd never do those again. But when I was coming up and learning how to edit and shit like that really good, I did it as a test to learn how to edit and have to do shit and how to make films, on the fly. It's a good exercise in the beginning to teach you how to move quickly and solve problems. But don't judge me on those piece of shits.
well, despite that, I had a good time with Daddy Daughter Day. That was pretty cool.
Yes. That's my real daughter too. That was the first time we got to act in anything, and
I was
that one I do really like that one. That one's fun.
Yeah.
And it was pretty much the last one I did because of the disappointment with, at least in Austin 48 Hour. I mean, I'll openly talk shit about them. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's as you said, you liked that. We went to the screening, got like a loud clapping ovation afterwards. People wanting to pose with us. That we were the memorable thing. And there was a lot of shit projects with no audio, was terrible, bad editing. I mean, it's obviously, like, again, these are people learning how to make their films by doing that. I was already kind of seasoned at that point. So yeah, even though that was still not great, I mean, as far as technique goes, it was a watchable movie at a beginning, middle, and end. It made sense. You could hear everything. It was lit well, it had memorable moments. And my daughter was like getting photos, and she's not even an actress. She just did it for fun. And we didn't get nothing, man. We didn't even make it in the top 10.
Oh, get out.
That sucks.
That wasn't even a top 10 choice in Austin. And when I saw the list of the crap that was top 10, I was like, this is bullshit. And I will tell you, I mean, again, I don't get political on things, but they came to us and said, we're pushing for no guns, and you're trying to let's get a little more, don't put guns in there, things like this. So they're pushing an agenda.
Yeah.
An anti-gun agenda. So when you tell me I can't do something, first thing is I'm going to have my daughter kill somebody with a gun just because I want to. Don't edit my art, man.
Yeah.
That's what I think. You could fuck with other things, but as far as art goes, I don't believe in censorship in any form or fashion. So
Yeah.
you know,
Kind of a weird thing to push in Texas, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
You
no
would think.
shit.
well, I'm in Austin, so I mean, again, I don't get political, but
Okay.
we're a giant red state, and I'm in a little tiny blue progressive Austin, where everybody's, you know, whatever. So
I got you.
No, definitely got you there.
They got to exist somewhere.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, can I hack them up with a machete at least? Then, you know.
Oh, absolutely. I
But I
mean,
can't. You could do that. They just don't shoot them with a gun, but you can chop them up into little pieces with the chainsaw. All good.
hey, get the brand of that chainsaw so we can sue them. They killed somebody.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
And it's funny. It's funny that everything you just mentioned. So, and me and Clint have watched a lot of these, you know, these indie movies that have come out. Luckily, people have been nice enough to give us screeners for them and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, one thing that me and him always agree on is sound is one of the, if not,
it's critical.
The most important thing.
I'll give you a lot of leeway on the way your film looks, but if I can't hear shit, it's real tough.
I can't do it, man. I can't.
I don't know if you've guys have looked at the post I posted today about what I've been doing since Sunday. I sat in front of the editing bay for 25 hours with no breaks. Just breaks to go piss and take a drink, you know, have a 5-minute coffee. 25 hours doing sound edits.
Yeah.
So yes, I take sound very seriously, and you know, if you can't hear it.
That's exactly where we are.
To me, it doesn't even have to be beautiful sounding sound.
It doesn't have to be fucking THX Dolby 5.1. I just want to hear the motherfucker that's on the screen.
Yeah, here, and I want to hear what you're saying, and I don't want to notice the cuts.
Right.
And the sound when it's cutting back and forth, and you can hear two different backgrounds. That annoys the shit out of me. It takes me out of the mood.
Yeah.
So that's big things that I do with sound to make sure that I have the sound, at least you're not hearing the cuts and everything's at a good volume, and the music's not so loud that it drowns you out. Which is a mistake a lot of indie filmmakers make, especially if they get a good composer. Like, oh man, this music is really badass. And they want to
go do a fucking soundtrack.
Exactly. They want to showcase that music, which I'm guilty in the way. I mean, I've been really having to remind myself, because I had such a good composer for my current film, and he's so good. It was just like, oh, this music is so badass, but I gotta turn it down.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And so I get that.
No, it's like I said, it's just don't do it. And again, you know, it doesn't, we understand it's not going to be perfect. The sound's not going to be perfect. The video's not going to be perfect, but motherfucker, I mean, I got to be able to hear it. I mean, it's just, if I got to turn subtitles on, it's just, and that's with anything. That's with anime, that's with, you know, any kind of foreign film. It just takes it out of the movie. And again, with foreign films, I understand, but with an indie film, it's like I'm trying to understand why the decisions were made to go with, you know, the lighting here and all that, and you know, and you know exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, I could only explain from what I've seen on some films, and a lot of it is just, you guys just don't realize how expensive it is to make a film. And when these guys are trying to get this done, they have $5,000 or $6,000, and they're like, oh, we're making a feature film. For $5,000, you're not going to afford a sound guy, so you're going to have to do it yourself. And then a lot of times they use onboard camera. Fortunately for you know, some of the films I've acted in that are like that, they at least got the microphone off the camera. It was on a boom, so at least the microphone's close enough to their mouth so you can, you know, they'll be able to hear it. But some of the people that do that, they're not putting the effort into the audio. They just think, oh, we'll fix it post. Now, early on, I'm actually my zombie film Among the Dead is going to be in a film festival this weekend. I got nominated for 6 awards, and this was made 7 years ago. It's already won over 30 awards. You know, but that entire movie is 80 yard. We didn't have a sound guy. It was just me and Matt, my co-producer and co-director, Matt Riffley. It was just us. We were the only crew. And I mean, I was an actor too, so I was in almost every shot. So I mean, he was pretty much doing a one-man crew thing. You know, I was directing it, but I mean, he just would like he had to set up everything and do himself pretty much.
Yeah.
And a couple of PAs to help him. But we didn't have a sound guy.
Yeah.
So we were like, and where we filmed a lot of it, kind of ruin it for someone who watches it now, but the woods were mostly in a park. so we're here, we have these zombies, like we have a horde of Walking Dead's quality zombies in there, and there's a kid's birthday party, like 50 feet from us. And they're like, oh, and it was pretty wild. So like, in order to get, we have no budget, I got to make a world that looks desolate. Whatever's in front of the camera, that's all the world can see.
Right.
They don't know what's behind us, but if they hear it, they'll know what's behind us. So we just we dubbed all the audio, which is a technique that they've done in India for years. Yeah, they don't record live audio. That's how they're able to do it cheaply.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And so that is a technique that I've recommended to a lot of the indie filmmakers that don't have the money to hire a sound guy. You can at least get in a quiet room and have the microphone close to your actor's mouth, but then you got to sync it, which is a pain in the ass. Which that's part of my 25-hour marathon that I did the other day, was syncing this audio back up, because it's just that was a nightmare.
Oh,
but anyway,
I can only imagine.
And my film Butcher's Bluff is 1 hour and 53 minutes long. So I did it. I had to go through it 3 times, and each time I went through it was probably about 6 hours. And I have to go tomorrow and finish doing some EQing and stuff like that tomorrow as well. So I'll probably put another 6 hours in tomorrow. Wow. So it's passion. When you're an indie filmmaker, it's all about. And I would say, in my point, I'm obsessed. There's obsession with me. I can't not put everything I have into it. I explained to one of my filmmaker friends today, one of our producers, that because he was just like, giving me props and saying he didn't know how the hell I do this shit without sleeping, because it's terrible. But I want to be able to look back on it and know, okay, hey, this film was low budget, but I can look back and honestly tell myself I did everything I could. I made it look as good as I possibly could, sound as good as I possibly could, edit it. I did every little thing. There was no excuses. I poured everything into it, and I can, with all its flaws and everything, be proud of it and know that I put everything into it.
Yeah. That's good, man. So, that's good. Some people just don't think that way. They just, it's whatever gets on film, that's it. And it's like, guys,
right,
you get one shot. And again, like you said, Steve shot Sawyer Massacre in 9 days. Yep. Remember, you don't have a month. You don't have 3 months. You don't have what Hollywood has. You get one chance, basically, and you got to make it count. Yep.
So, I mean, in my experience was a lot different in 9 days. It took us 2 years to make Butcher's Bluff. So it was, and I really got the script way back. So it's been written for a long, long time. And then we did the rewrites. I had a co-writer. His name is Renfield Rasputin. Shout out. We got my old script that was really not that good, to tell you the truth. And then we retweaked it and added a whole bunch of the 80s tropes. So that's what Butcher's Bluff is. It's a love letter to the 80s slasher film genre. But
it's I am looking
got the trailer.
Yes.
Thank you.
And that would be something that would probably be cool to share on the page, since you're basically getting ready to premiere that movie, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 1 week from today.
Yeah.
Wednesday. I've got the Alamo Draft House here, and it's a screener. It's not a premiere.
Okay.
So South by Southwest, if you're watching, we're not premiering it. I submitted to South by Southwest yesterday.
Okay.
So it is a screener, and we had 200-seater at the Alamo Draft House. Sold out every one of those tickets in 24 hours.
Wow.
So that was cool. It's puts a lot of pressure on the shoulders, but we'll have a sold out premiere screener. Screener. We all got to catch ourselves from saying it, but it's in their rules. I'm allowed to do it as long as I don't call it a premiere.
There you go.
There's no public links to it, but yes, it's going to be a lot of fun. There's 32 kills in that film.
Wow.
Damn.
All practical effects, and most of them are on screen.
Wow.
So
Damn.
Yeah, there's a few because I did the tribute to Jason, and Jason is my favorite killer of all time. And so there's a few Jason type of kills where you see the machete, the reaction, you see the splatter on the wall, and you know it's insinuated, and then you see the aftermath later of what happened to him. So a lot of Friday the 13th inspired kills. As a makeup artist, Savini is the fucking godfather to me, even though he'll say it's Dick Smith, and he was right in that it is Dick Smith. But yeah, Savini and Nicotero,
yep,
Baker, those guys are all, Howard Berger.
Yep.
Those guys, the effects guys, they're the fucking masters of effects, dude.
Yeah.
So, being that I'm into effects, that was one thing I really wanted. I didn't do the effects on this film. There's a few little clips that we didn't have a makeup artist and some of those things that I did do little wounds and some of the kills in there, but the majority was done by Jenna Green. She was on season 2 of Face Off.
Okay. Oh, nice.
So yeah. So, and then we did have a prosthetic that was made by Joe Castro, and he was on Face Off as well.
Joe Castro. He's legendary too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Joe's a badass. So the effect that he made, I won't say who it is, but it's a severed head of a person.
Dude, his shit is insane with that.
It's so fucking realistic.
It's fucking
just like,
scary.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, we got close-ups of this thing and 4K high def close-up. It looks like a human's fucking head.
Yeah.
I mean, down to the pores in his skin. So
no shit.
So I always tell everyone if you can afford him, you get Joe.
Yeah.
Joe's the guy to go to.
That's great. Yeah.
I couldn't afford an out of state makeup artist, because one of the things he does like to do is knock out the shit, especially if he flies in from LA. He likes to knock it all out, like do all the kills like in a week, and shoot them all in a row, get that, and then he can just go home, go on to the next gig.
Sure.
Where I knew my film was going to be spread out and shot over the weekends, and there was just no way I could do it realistically. So that was the one thing we were able to do, is I could at least work with him and get some of his work in there. That I had an LA based actor, and he was able to do that for me. So
hell yes. Yeah, that was insane. I'm like, did he cut someone's fucking head off? Nope. That is fucking makeup, and it was just nuts.
Yeah. Butcher's Bluff was a kind of a success story as well. If maybe not know this about it, is that we didn't have any money at all. I mean, like I said before, I'm a broke artist, dude. So we made a fake trailer for $800. So for $800, I made this trailer. I just shot exactly what was on the screen. I planned it out. I mapped it out. If this person says these 2 words, that's all we're shooting. I'm shooting the whole scene. We're just shooting those 2 words and that one angle, and boom. So we shot that fake trailer over 4 days and started promoting, made a group, got on Indiegogo, and the first campaign we made $40,000.
God,
wow.
From Indiegogo, based off of a fake trailer. Then the finishing funds, I made over 20.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's impressive.
That sounds like a great way to do it.
$60,000 off of Indiegogo from backers, because people liked the Hogman so much. They liked how the image of him. And I'm a hustler. So again, if anybody follows me on Facebook, you'll see I'm at a lot of conventions. I get tables, I sell my merchandise. Gene Simmons is my hero. Not as a person, but as a businessman.
Sure.
Gene Simmons puts the logo on everything, man. So I got a giant poster right over there on my wall is a giant frame poster of Gene Simmons. So so I own the copyright. I have the trademark. I own the Hogman character. So I can do whatever the hell I want with it, and that's what I do. I go to conventions and I put the costume on a mannequin, and people see that thing and they're just like, oh my God. And that's how I was able to generate a lot of interest and knowledge in the film. So, I mean, if you are an indie filmmaker, that's some advice I would give to you. If you want to get your movie made, is you got to create a buzz about it. And one of the best ways to do that is make an iconic figure. Anybody can do. No offense, okay? Because once I know a couple people, you can't put a sack on your head and make it fucking scary. But the Hogman mask is it is a sack. It's a burlap sack. You can make it scary. You can make it scary if you add shit to it. Right. You know,
sure.
A hockey mask on a person isn't scary on anybody other than Jason Voorhees.
Right.
You know? Very true.
So you have to be creative, you know, on the kind of character that you're going to create. Make a character look fucking cool and iconic. Again, Freddy, his glove, nothing's cooler than that.
You're
so
right.
the fedora hat, the sweater, he looked so cool
Mm-hmm.
that people was going to back that. So when you're on the indie scene and you're trying to make money, you want people to support you, you give them an iconic figure, give them something to look at, and show it to them in the damn trailer. Because a lot of people, I don't want to put no spoilers in the trailer. Well, a fake trailer, you can do whatever the hell you want because it's not a real movie. So I put a lot of blood and gore in it. I mean, like we said, we cut a dude's head off in the trailer. You know, I show at the very end of the first trailer, not the one that's out now, but the first Indiegogo fake trailer. We decapitated a dude. We gutted somebody. I mean, we did a lot of shit to show that we're gonna have gore in there. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And a high body count, and you know, the Terrifier being as successful as it's gotten. It's been like a huge influence. It's just been so inspiring to see what they were able to do with Terrifier 2, and I'm so happy for them that they've gotten the success that they got. I mean, that's just so cool because I mean, quite frankly, they should have had that 40 million and not Halloween Ends. Halloween Ends is some bullshit. Sorry, that's some bullshit.
Don't
go watch watch Terrifier 2. Don't waste your money. Go watch Terrifier 2 and give the indie guys that are doing it right your business. You know,
well, it's funny. It's funny you even mentioned that too, because I mean, not a lot of people realize that that's an indie horror movie.
Yeah. He was funded from Indiegogo. I mean, he had a few outside investors, but most of that money's from Indiegogo. He raised it himself.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and plus it, and I like how you actually say that. I like how you bring that up like you did, because it kind of gives everybody hope. Like, it's like, okay, if this can happen and bring in, you know, again, $2.3 million in a weekend. I mean, that gives every indie writer, producer, director hope that they may be the next Terrifier, because it's going to drive people for that.
And again, it goes back to what I was saying about iconic characters.
Exactly.
Terrifier wouldn't be shit if Art the Clown wasn't so cool looking.
You're 1000% right. I believe that wholeheartedly.
He's just so cool looking, and the performance that David does is just fucking badass. I mean, it's just like, okay, you know, that's what sells it, because the story, especially the original, the story is nothing to write home about, but he's fucking cool as shit. So you watch it because it's like, okay, that's badass, you know.
100%.
And then and the effects are fucking awesome in it. So
they're gnarly.
You know.
Yeah.
So that's what, again, you give everybody on our level that hope that we could be that next guy, and that's what it's going to take, is you have to have an iconic character. So my push was during my campaign, the Hogman's the next Texas iconic killer. It started here in 73, and 2023 is the year of the hog. that's my pitch.
There you go. Hey,
I like it.
I'd buy it. I'll buy that.
50 years later, man, then the Leatherface is passing the chain, man.
Mm-hmm.
Pass the chainsaw to me. I'm ready to take it.
That's right.
Exactly, man. Yeah, no.
I had Bill Johnson in the film, and Bill Johnson gave me his blessing, so he's my favorite Leatherface. So.
There you go.
That is amazing.
I'm a huge Part 2 fan, and I met Bill in 2007 or 8. I think it might have been 8. Yeah. At a con, and he lives here in Austin, and so we became friends. And he's done a lot of stuff with me. He even did. He was in Daddy Daughter Day.
Oh, cool!
Oh, that's awesome. Shit.
Yeah, the guy cutting his
toenails in the beginning. Yeah. Oh man,
that's Bill Johnson, man. Oh, he did that for free for me. He said, "Hey." He goes, I'll do the 48. I'm not doing nothing this weekend.
That's cool.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bill does shit, for me, because again, we've just been really good friends for a long time, and then I've got Paul Taylor who's Pinhead in the Judgment, Hellraiser Judgment. Some people don't like the film; it's kind of gross, but he was, I think, for stepping in the shoes of probably one of the most iconic horror figures ever in Pinhead. I think he did a pretty damn good job. He's a fantastic actor. I've got Bill Oberst Jr., who's the best actor I've ever worked with. If you've ever seen his work, he's amazing actor. He was in Circus of the Dead. He was in Abraham Lincoln versus Zombies. I mean, he does a lot of indie stuff, but this guy's like a Shakespearean actor. He's like so damn good. He used Ray Bradbury stuff.
Wow.
He's amazing. I mean, it's a method actor, and to watch this guy, him and Paul Taylor are in a scene. Paul's very Shakespearean as well. There's a lot of theater. Paul's amazing actor too. So when you had those two guys on the set together, interacting in a scene, saying the words that I wrote, it was just like unreal to see these two amazing actors saying their lines. That's just something you can't, until you experience it and for yourself, it's hard to explain it,
Yeah, no doubt.
Right.
And we do it too whenever we see like we'll have somebody on the show, and then 2 weeks later their movie will premiere, we'll get a screen. It's like, that person was on our fucking show and they're in this movie. It's just funny to see that. It's amazing to see it.
Right.
So definitely know how that feels.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a long road. I mean, again, it's bittersweet now. I mean, I could say I was bittersweet on the last day that we filmed, because we filmed for so long, 2 years almost. It was a little under 2 years. And it was just like when it was finally over, I shot that last scene. There was just this feeling like, man, this is done now. I'm not going to see these people again all the time. We had, only a few people in our crew, but we were tight, and people move on to the next gig, but and then now for the editing, I've been editing it all this time, and now it's right here at the end, and the world's about to see it, and again, it's another step. It's another step that we are into. So it's like, okay, it's let's keep it going. But after 2 years of your life that you put into doing something, you're constantly planning the next shoot. Who are we getting here? Looking for the location, making sure locking things down, and then we don't have to do that anymore. Like, what the hell do I do with my time?
Right. Like, I'm bored now. What did I do?
So your next.
So I wrote another one. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So your next steps for this movie, Butcher's Bluff. So you're going to do your screeners, and then what's the next move for it from there? Since you dropped a company's name,
film festivals.
Okay.
Film festivals is our thing we're doing, but not the small. We're trying to get into top tier festivals.
Okay.
Buyers Market. We're trying to get it sold, just so hopefully we can ride on the tailcoat of Terrifier. And I'm thinking that maybe, just fucking maybe, people are going to give us a little bit of a chance now when they saw, in us, the collective us, all the indie guys out there that have made something with an iconic character that's marketable for franchise, which I do. I have a trilogy. Butcher's Bluff is a trilogy. So I'm hoping that we can get a good deal and then make a sequel. So that's gonna, I'm not gonna sign a bad deal and basically give my movie to some fly-by-night distribution company.
Right.
It happens to a lot of indie makers.
Yes, it does.
Filmmakers. It's screwed so bad by the distribution companies.
Oh yeah, they'll basically sign the movie away.
Oh yeah,
lose their rights to it,
and I'm not giving
my
merchandising rights. I'm not giving that up. You make money off merchandising. That's where Lucas made his money. And that's what I'm doing, because I do sell quite a bit of merchandise at conventions because of, again, got a cool looking character. So and people, and I have little clay figures and T-shirts and stickers and posters, and I've put it on everything.
Oh yeah. Like I said, you got to put yourself out there.
Yeah, and that's again how I think we part of our success of our Indiegogo is I would go to all these conventions even before the movie was made or finished, the script wise. And then before we even started rolling cameras, I was out handing out flyers like, check out our page. This is the next film we're going to be doing. And that's how I got Paul T. Taylor. He was at a convention, and then we started talking, and I gave him a flyer and pitched him the idea of what the film was. And he's just like, man, I'd love to read it.
Wow.
That's badass.
That was that.
Oh yeah.
So Paul pretty much said yes right away. So
Damn, that's
amazing.
awesome, man. Yeah, that's great.
I think
Thank you,
a lot of people could take some good lessons from that. I mean, that's pretty awesome. I mean, and I kind of got that impression, you know, like when I was sifting through like your YouTube channel and stuff like that, just some of the things that you went online and said, you know, about, it's like, well, do you want to do this as a hobby, or do you want to make money at this? You know, it's and it sounds to me like you're really narrowing down on how you're going to make that happen, and that's really cool.
I don't have a backup plan. You know, I don't have retirement, so I don't have any of that shit. This is either I'm doing do or die for me.
Yeah.
And and this isn't my hobby, and it used to piss me off at the day job. You know, I try to take days off to do things, and they're like, well, we can't do this around your hobby. I'm like, this isn't my fucking hobby, dude. This is my passion. So,
Right.
You know, I've been an artist my whole life, you know, from musician to, you know, photographer to I've done it all, you know, and,
right.
You know, so I take it very seriously, you know. I mean, I have fun, but I mean, I'm not doing it to make YouTube movies. No offense to anybody who does, but that's not me. That's not me. I'm not making YouTube movies. I'm making films that I want to get out there, and I want to be a professional filmmaker that makes money. That's my job, you know.
Right.
So
yeah, that's respectable.
Absolutely. I mean, 100%.
Why not get paid to do the thing you love? That would be that'd be great.
Exactly. And you know, especially with the ideas I've got so many scripts sitting in my on my desktop. You know, a lot of them need some big budgets to make. I won a platinum Remy award at the Houston World Fest for a Western called 36 Notches. And the platinum is pretty hard to get. And that was one of the best in festival for the scripts. And it's going to need about $5 to $10 million to make that thing. It's basically the Punisher in the Civil War.
Oh wow!
Oh,
so it's brutal. It is brutal. I mean, it's like just so gory because I mean, Civil War was gory anyway.
Oh yeah.
So now you got a guy hell bent on revenge during that time period, based off of a real guy. He's lost in history. If I told you his name, you can look him up and find out, but I'm not going to tell anybody his name because I don't want anybody to steal it.
You got it. You got it.
There's a guy that some events happened to him during that time period, and he basically turned into the Punisher. That's based, and you know, so we loosely based the script. It's a fictional story based loosely off of this man's life. You know?
Wow.
So
that sounds badass.
That's really something I'd like to do, is to dive into that Western, because a very gory, dark Western would be fun to do. A lot of fun.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, that's damn.
So yeah, I've got. I went. I made a movie about flat earthers. I'm not making, but I wrote a script. A script that the flat earthers will like go nuts over. They're gonna be like jacking off like in that movie. If I could ever make that movie, they would be like, I'd become their god. It's pretty cool. You know, it's called the script's called Repentless, and so basically about an astronaut that goes into orbit and discovers the world's flat.
Son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. He spills the beans about what he discovered. Yeah, it's and then the Catholic, there's things with the Catholic Church and a bunch of stuff. So government conspiracies. I mean, it's a wild story. I dove down the rabbit hole of flat earther.
Oh my God.
I watched all those videos on YouTube, like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Holy shit.
I'm like, this is real?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, right.
Cool.
I'm gonna write a screenplay on this.
No, I mean, you gotta have a target audience. There's obviously a lot of those motherfuckers out there.
Better fucking believe it.
So, you know, I wrote a script that would be something that they would like give them some validity. They're like, hey, that
Sure.
guy gets us. That guy gets it.
Yeah.
It's
He's
like
gonna be their fucking hero.
that's like making a Scientology movie or something.
That's right.
There you
That's right.
go.
Yeah, right.
True story. The Church of Scientology called the cops on me one time for filming a short film out in this back alley here in Austin.
Oh,
And it was behind their building. They called the cops because I was shooting these guys back there, and it's funny. So now I always fucked with the Scientology people.
I don't blame you there.
I think it's pretty funny.
That sounds right. It sounds like something they would do.
Yeah. I dove down that rabbit hole too. I watched the Leah Remini's I think that's how you say your last name.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But, I watched her fucking documentary about some of that crazy shit that was going on. And then some British cat had a documentary about it. I'm like, okay, this is what you got to do to be an elite. I don't know. Count me out, bro.
Count me the fuck out. Yep, I'm
Yeah.
tapping out.
Yeah.
Not even going. Not even dealing with that.
I'll just stay independent.
Exactly. Y'all can stay over there. I'm going over here.
Mhm.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So yeah, man, it's been a lot of fun. You know, been a long ride, and I'm just happy that getting shit out, man, and getting some recognition. I mean, one of the cool things that happened to me this past weekend, I was at a film festival and not film festival, convention, horror convention. I was one of the on the guest tables, and Danielle Harris came by my table and posed with us.
I saw that
Yeah,
picture.
we saw that.
Yeah. We were I was in a film with her called Dr. Gift that we filmed last year. It's not released yet. There's still a couple of pickup scenes. I know because I'm in the pickup scene that has to be filmed. So the movie can't be done until I show up and do my scene, but I'm waiting for that phone call.
Right.
There you
Anyway,
go.
I was on set with Danielle and we talked a couple of hours throughout the day, you know, and she was just cool as shit. So we're there at that con and she's like, hey, she remembered me. And she came by and I told her about the movie and everything. She came, looked at all my stuff, like was congratulating me on the thing, took a picture with me, you know, wished me luck. And so it's just like, man, that's awesome. That's awesome as shit, dude. You know, and
super cool.
Michael Hargrave, who is the new Candyman. Yeah, he was across from me, and after the day, he says he travels around with this stuffed animal, this bear. And he came by and asked me to take a picture of it with holding this bear in front of my Hogman suit. I'm like, cool. And he says, I want to get this before you get famous, man. He's like, I've been watching it all weekend, and he goes, you got it. I was like, fuck, that was a great weekend, you know.
No shit.
Hearing these people say that to me, that you know, that they see something in what I'm doing, you know. It's very motivating, and I think that's something that all independent filmmakers really do. We do need to hear stuff that gives us, you know, motivation to keep going, because it gets frustrating.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, it does get very frustrating to know that you're doing something that you're probably not going to make any money at. You're going to lose money doing it, and you know that you're never going to probably be able to get the reach that you wish you could get. And if you were given that opportunity, then maybe your movie might do well, but no one's pushing it and no one's backing it. And as much as you try to network and push on the internet, it never really gets there. And so that's frustrating, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, I have a filmmaker friend that I won't mention his name or his film name right now, but I feel kind of like that's what happened with his movie. It's like he got this close, but it just didn't get there.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that just had to do with there was just not enough reach to where the film didn't get out there, you know, and quite make it. It's got a cult following, and you know, people know what it is, but I really think really in the horror community, a lot of people know what it is. But outside of that small knit community, he didn't get much recognition because it just didn't get out there, you know?
Yeah. Well, like you said, you take your stuff to conventions. I mean, that's a big way to get you know, some steam behind it, without a doubt.
Yep. And one of the things you were asking me what my next step was going to be, we're considering doing a punk rock style, taking the film on tour and screening it in different cities. You know, like you're a band, you know. I mean, I come from a band background, you know, where you know you tour your music and you have your merch table and you go and you play the gig and you know you make enough money and gas to go to the next town. But with a film, there's an opportunity to make a lot more money than being a no name metal band that doesn't get
Right.
or five people in the audience and their girlfriends. You
Yeah.
with the right marketing plan, you can get a theater to sell pretty well. Especially if I push it a lot, with the internet. You can use the internet to say, hey, I'll be in this town on this day, as long as it's pretty worked out on your schedule. So that's kind of one of the things we were thinking about doing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm kind of known a little bit around this area, but outside of my little nick of Central Texas, no one knows who the fuck I am, and
Right.
and they haven't heard of my movie because all my networking has been around here. I mean, there's people at horror conventions I've hung out with people after that have heard of me and seen my poster, and it's like, man, your poster's fucking awesome, or they see me and they're from out of state, they did, so I know that there are people outside of Texas that have heard of the project, seen it, and think it's cool and everything. But like when I go to the gas station here in Bastrop, I mean, like, when there's an event, it's like I'm almost like one of the just because people think I'm bigger than I am, which is cool as fuck, but I'm one of those dudes that doesn't get to my head. I'll talk to anybody. I don't charge for photos. I'll never charge for photos. That's a thing from Sid Haig. Sid Haig never charged anybody for photos, and his signings were $20. He never raised his price at conventions his whole life.
Wow.
So,
well, Clint, I didn't tell you, Clint. So so I talked to William off mic. This is $100. We got to give him $100 for being on a podcast.
Oh shit.
Yeah, no. I figured we'd just split it 50-50. We'll be all right.
Yeah, I got you.
No, man. I mean, we really appreciate you coming on, brother. This has been actually very educational, and Clint said it earlier. People can really take notice of what you're doing and run with it, because it sounds like you got your shit together. Like you know how this works, what you need to do. And yeah, some people can take that advice and really make this work if they want.
I hope so. I tell people all the time at conventions. Funny story. I mean, this is, again, it was the weirdest thing. I'll never forget this because it's the first time it's happened to me. I hope it's not the last, really, but it's the first time it's happened. A young girl came up to me in San Antonio, almost in tears. She followed me on the line and she thinks I'm famous, right? So she's like, I want to be a filmmaker. And she's nervous and shaking. I'm just like, calm down, okay? I love giving advice to people like that. I was like, so I tell people all the time, you make the movie, don't make excuses. This is good. Make your movie, don't make excuses. Anybody who wants to make a film can make it. You have your camera, like you said, you care more about the sound than you do the image. So I tell people, you can get DaVinci Resolve, which again, if you're listening right now, write this down. DaVinci Resolve is a free editing software. You get your phone, film your thing, make sure you get your audio. You can actually get a little recording device. Actually, I'll show it to your fans right now. It's this thing right here. This is called a Zoom H1.
Oh,
it's a digital recorder.
It does.
It's super, super fucking cheap, and it's you can get really clean audio. That's not what I use for my films, but that's what I use. All my 48-hour films, all the other shit. Like when I first started, this is the recording device we did with audio. You plug a microphone into it. Again, you get the microphone as close to your actor as you can.
Yeah.
Make your movie, man. And as long as it can be heard, and as long as your image is in focus, which if you're using a phone, you don't have to worry about follow focus or any of that shit. You make a movie. You make a movie with what you got. If you have 3 friends in a house, then your movie's about 3 friends in a house. But you start making. You edit it for free, learn how to edit, and then you put it out. Good, bad, or whatever. At least you finished it.
Yeah.
One of the bad things. Yeah, one of the things that a lot of filmmakers, or wannabe filmmakers, they'll start a project and they never finish. Can't stand that shit.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, this is want to say what grinds my gears is filmmakers that say they're making a movie and then they put their poster out. Now this is the poster. It's my next project. And then 2 years later, it hasn't been made or done anything. And then they put, this is my next project. Okay, what happened to the last one?
No, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Got bored with that.
You never made the last one.
Yeah.
do an Indiegogo, raise money off people. Oh, we're working on a film. 3 years later, they haven't ran a fucking single roll of film.
Yeah.
When's this movie going to get made? Oh, we're working on it. It took you 3 years to work on it,
right?
And you haven't even started filming it. You make your movie. Don't make excuses.
Yeah.
Right.
No, you're 100% right. And that's good advice without a doubt. Clint always says, you don't know, you never know until you try. I mean, that's the thing, if you don't make your movie, how you ever going to know if it's going to succeed? Exactly. And anybody can do it. You walk out with a fucking camera, with a microphone, you do it and see what happens. Cause again, even if it doesn't do anything, you can say you made a movie. You've done more than what 99% of the people out there say they're going to do. You made a movie. You never know.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be good. Like I said, you're learning. When you're in the beginning stages, just fucking make it, you know? Yeah. But back when I started, way back in the 80s, man, we had a big, huge, camera with the VHS tapes. Remember those? Yeah. And so me and my brothers would shoot around and we'd film shit, and then we would edit it with 2 VCRs. Cut the things together with 2 VCRs, and they were terrible. They were stupid as hell. We were just doing dumb things, but that's what you got to do to learn your craft. Like anything, when you pick a guitar up, you can't play Van Halen when you first pick up a guitar.
No.
So how do you expect to be, someone like Stanley Kubrick if you don't know anything about photography? He was a photographer. He understood lenses. He understood all that shit about lighting, and every single frame was planned out, and he knew exactly what he wanted, and that's why he was the best,
100%.
And somebody that just doesn't know anything about filmmaking is not going to be that, as long as you don't expect that. But he wasn't good when he first started. Christopher Nolan wasn't good when he first started, but then look at him. Peter Jackson made the fucking Hobbit, and you see Bad Taste.
Yeah, Bad Taste, fucking dead alive. I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah. Peter Jackson makes the Lord of the Rings the Hobbit. So you never know where you'll go. And I'm always out to help people. So you're listening now. You want advice? If I can help you, I will. Write me. I'm easy to find. I reply to everybody who writes to me. I don't claim to know everything, but if I can help you, I will. Because people helped me. I didn't get here on my own. I didn't know shit. So people told me, they gave me advice. I went out and I learned. And I think that's one of the things that you can take away from this, is that, especially in filmmaking, it's a group thing. You can't do everything by yourself, and you're not going to be good at it at first. The only way to get good is to do it.
That's right.
That's good.
So if I can help you, I will. We go full circle. It's why I jumped on board and helped Steve, because the guy needed help. I'm willing to help him.
Yeah.
There you go, man.
It sounds like he's got a really cool product getting ready to drop.
Without a doubt.
So, but that's a good lead into. We'd like to help spread the word about what you're doing. Like if there's anything that we can follow, any place you could tell people that they can find information about you or your projects, or where your movie's going and what's happening with it next. I mean, floor is yours.
I always tell people that if you want to follow Butcher's Bluff, go to the official Butcher's Bluff fan page on Facebook. We update that pretty much daily. My mom mostly recently. I made her an admin. Now she's like doing all this. She helped me out. Yeah. She helps me out with every stuff. She goes to conventions with me and helps me out with all that stuff there. So, but the official Butcher's Bluff fan page on Facebook is the best way to follow the film. I'm on Facebook. It's under William R. Instone, my William Instone professional page. I never go on that damn thing. So you'll see I didn't post on there. I could never remember to change. I don't know how those people use multiple accounts. The Butcher's Bluff movie, I'm also on Instagram, Butcher's Bluff on Instagram. I'm on there every now and then as well. But Facebook's the main place where I'm doing stuff right now. So that's the way you can get a hold of me. Again, I'm available for acting. If you're in Texas, I'll go anywhere. Actually, I'll travel. If you need a big, scary guy to convince you to go down the road and take a ride by the
fuck that noise.
Transformer.
Fuck that noise.
Yeah, just follow that dirt road.
I say we say that, but you know, if you were like looking at us like that, saying it, like I don't fucking know, maybe not.
Yeah.
I'm probably not gonna
Be like that. Better be some damn
That-
good
that-
barbecue back there.
I know,
Did-
right?
I hear you kids are going to San Angelo.
Say, fuck that noise right
I
there.
want to get some barbecue.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
no fucking way. Not down the fucking road. Not down a dirt road. Jesus Christ.
I enjoy acting a lot. So, I mean, that's one of the things is that I really enjoy doing acting and helping people. So my rates are reasonable. I'll travel. If it's a cool gig, I'll fucking do it. So if you're a filmmaker out there, you want me to help you out, I'll jump on your film, do it. So
Yeah,
that's the last thing I should say about that. I mean, it's just again, I'm like I said, I'm easy to get a hold of. So
Very cool.
awesome, brother. Well, again, we can't thank you enough for hopping on, man. It's been, like I said, educational. It's been fun, without a shadow of a
Thanks,
doubt. Like I
guys.
said, we weren't bored at all. You said we weren't going to be, and you were right on the fucking money.
That's great. We love a talker.
Well, I'm a talker, and yeah, it's you know, it's I like talking film. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed yourself. I enjoyed myself. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man.
And
sir.
man, we'll do this again when the movie's done, man. I'll come up and y'all can see it for yourself, and
I love it.
we can talk.
Yep.
We can talk about the carnage.
Yeah.
We'll tell you guys
Carnage.
you're gonna look forward to something. Our opening credits has 16 murders in it during the opening credits.
Oh wow.
God damn.
You're not gonna use. Speaking of not being bored,
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
you want to watch the opening credit scene with all the fucking names flashing on a blank screen, or do you want to see the killers cutting throats and scalping motherfuckers? And
I'm gonna go with the latter.
There you go.
I'm gonna go with the latter.
Very
Absolutely.
That's it.
Absolutely. Well, again, brother, thank you so much. Yeah, we will definitely do this again. We'll be in touch. Post whatever you want on our page. Amityville Horror is on our Facebook page. Post whatever you want, man. Make sure people know about this movie, because we damn sure will.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you.
Absolutely, brother.
Yes,
Have a
sir.
good night. Thank you so much.